Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Conscious Man Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Lenahan, and in today's episode, I want to talk about why you shouldn't worry about what other people think about you. So let's get right into it. So, I have always been terrified of public speaking. It was January 5th of 2022. I'm in my parents' basement, and I finally decided to try and follow through with a dream of mine to make my very first YouTube video. It was just a few days after New Year's, so I figured, what a great opportunity to share with people what I've learned about goal setting. I felt like I had learned enough knowledge on the subject that I could provide some value to someone. Sounds pretty simple, right? I've been planning the video for a few weeks and was totally ready to start my journey as an up-and-coming YouTuber. I spent hours crafting the perfect script that I would use. I bought all the fancy lighting equipment, a whiteboard, and set up this makeshift studio in the corner of the rec room in our basement. I was so ready to go, or so I thought. With the light shining in my eyes, my script in place, and my GoPro staring me up and down, I gulped, reached to press record. No. You can't do this, Aaron. You look like an idiot. What's everyone going to think of you? I got up and I went to the bathroom to regroup. I gazed at myself in the mirror. I looked myself in the eye, and I didn't like what I saw. I saw someone who was weak. I saw someone who was scared of their own shadow. I saw a coward. What is it that they say in film? Lights, camera, action? Well, I chose lights, camera, runaway. So while I stood in front of the mirror, I couldn't stop playing movies in my head of other people talking shit about me behind my back. Look at Aaron. Who does he think that he is? He has no idea what he's talking about. And it just went on and on. I felt like I had a crazy drunk monkey stung by a scorpion running around in my head, and I could not tame it. This back and forth between sitting in front of the camera and then back to the bathroom to fix my hair to reevaluate my entire existence went on for a considerable amount of time. After a while, I brought myself down and went back out to try again. With my heart doing jumping jacks inside of my chest, I assumed position, took a breath, and thought to myself, all right, Aaron, here we go. And then pressed record on my GoPro. What's up, YouTube? As 2022 arrived, it's the time of year that, Okay, let's try this again. Shake that off. Okay. What's up, YouTube? Oh, God. And this went on and on. After nearly 2 hours of choking on my own words and continuously messing up, I'd finally gotten through my helpless script. I uploaded the video from my GoPro to my computer and stayed up until 5 a.m. editing it. From the 108 minutes of video that I had, I edited it down to 14 minutes and 28 seconds. When it was all complete, I was on YouTube ready to post it. I hovered my finger over the submit video button and was stopped again by the crippling thoughts of people judging me. I sat there for a moment, considered my pros and cons, and ultimately ended up not posting the video strictly out of fear. I let my idea of how other people would judge me stop me from posting it, even after all that bullshit that I just put myself through. Feeling doomed, I went to my bed and I hit my journal. And this is word for word what I wrote to myself. I try so hard for everything to be perfect that it stops me from just being who I am. I'm so fucking critical of myself because I don't look at myself through my own eyes. I look at myself from my perceived view of how everyone else sees me. It's all made up in my mind, and it's this fucked up box that I've created and put myself in. I've wasted so much time trying to be someone that I'm not. This journal entry basically summarizes how I've lived the majority of my life, trying to be perfect in the minds of other people. Too scared to show that I had flaws, and too much of a coward to let anyone know that. A week after this, I did end up posting that video that I created to YouTube, but I was so embarrassed about it that I maybe only told a few people. This is what the fear of other people's opinions does to us. It cripples us, It holds us back, and it locks us into a mental prison of our own and throws away the key. Ryan Holiday, in his book Courage is Calling, wrote, "We care so much about what other people think and are afraid of them even when we wouldn't be around to hear it. The paradox, of course, is that almost everything new, everything impressive, everything right was done over the loud objections of the status quo." He said you can't let fear rule, because there has never been a person who did something that mattered without pissing people off. There's never been a change that was not met with doubts. There's never been a movement that was not mocked, and there was never a groundbreaking business that was not loudly predicted to fail. And there has never, ever been a time when the average opinion of faceless, unaccountable strangers should be valued above our own considered judgment. If you want to be at your best and perform at a high level, fear of people's opinions will hold you back. So like I said before, I have always been terrified of public speaking, and I certainly haven't gotten over that. In fact, I'm actually dealing with it right now. But over the last year, however, I've come a very, very long way. So in today's episode, I want to talk about 3 things that you can do to stop worrying about what other people think of you. So the first thing you need to do is forgive yourself. We are all insecure. I want you to realize that we have all been given bullshit belief systems and traumas at ages when we were too young to defend ourselves. You also need to forgive yourself because, unfortunately, the fear of other people's opinions is inherent in every human being. And this is because of the fact that we're operating with an ancient brain. For tens to hundreds of thousands of years, back to when we were living in tribes, social acceptance was either life or death. If you did something stupid, or if the responsibility of a failed hunt landed on your shoulders, your place in the tribe could be threatened. And being kicked out of the tribe meant certain death, as we couldn't survive on our own. Humans are naturally social creatures, and we need to rely on others for one way or another. So this craving for social approval and the desire to fit in has been passed down to us genetically. So give yourself some slack, but don't allow yourself to totally rely on this for an excuse. This just puts emphasis on why we need to train and condition our mind to overcome this. The second thing I want to talk about is the difference between being internally and externally motivated. Those who are internally motivated are often highly confident, and they're not afraid of things like rejection or failing to do something because they're motivated internally rather than externally. That is to say, they use their self-validation as a means of measuring their success rather than the validation of outside sources such as women, the Joneses, or anybody else like their parents, relatives, and friends to tell them how they're doing. Being internally motivated is saying, my opinion of myself is the only one that matters. You validate yourself, you only care what you think, and you follow your own lead. Being externally motivated, however, is obviously the opposite. It is when you base your every decision around, oh, but what will they think of me? And what if I get laughed at? And all those other things that we say to ourselves. Also, I should add that being internally motivated doesn't give you justification to becoming a sociopath. One of my mentors, Mark Singh, says that we want about 90% internal motivation with a 10% external check, just to make sure that the outside world is responding positively to you, so you can adjust accordingly to give yourself the best results, and not become someone who just sticks their middle finger up to the world and acts like their shit doesn't stink. And lastly, you need to realize that you are not alone. Too often, we suffer our fears in silence. We believe ourselves to be the only one. Everywhere we look, we seem to be surrounded by confident people. But the reality is that every human being is fundamentally insecure on some level. What I've realized by talking to people who, on the outside, appear to be super confident, on the inside are often highly insecure. Yes, even that super shredded guy or girl at the gym who you want to emulate so badly, if they were to be honest with you, they are probably highly insecure themselves. So, as humans, we are all dealt a different hand from the start. But it's almost a birthright that we have to deal with the turbulence of being insecure in order to overcome it. In fact, to get a little spiritual, I believe that this is the entire purpose of life. I think our life is to provide the illusion of the opposite of what we really are. So deep within your soul, you're completely whole and secure, but you're given an ego that is fundamentally insecure so that you can overcome it and grow as a spirit. To wake up to what you really are, which is fully confident, fully whole, fully secure in who you are, and full of love for yourself as well as for others. So, it is set from the start that you have to break free from the chains of your insecurities and just realize that everyone starts from this point. Everyone is insecure unless they have worked on themselves tremendously. So that person you're worried about that you think is going to judge you, they're probably more insecure than you. Anyone that's truly above you would never have the need to talk down to you. Just think of it, like why would they? If they talk down to you, are they really above you? So to recap, number 1, forgive yourself. We are all insecure. We have all been dealt a shitty hand of cards, and we have all been given bullshit belief systems before we could defend ourselves. Number 2, become internally motivated. The Tao Te Ching, a Chinese book on philosophy that was written somewhere around 2,500 years ago, says that when you care about other people's opinions, you become their slave. Number 3, you are not alone. Remember that everyone is fundamentally insecure to some degree. And also, realize that by confronting your fears, you help others confront theirs. Seriously, when you stop caring what others think and set out to achieve your own goals and dreams, you give others the power to do the same. Someone is always watching you and wishing they had your courage. By stepping up to your own fears, you help others face theirs. Be vulnerable and completely honest about this like I have been. Being open about your fears and confronting them head on could be the greatest gift that you ever give to others and to yourself. So, I want you to know that awareness itself is curative, meaning that just being aware that you're at the whim of other people's opinions of you means that you now have a starting point from which you can work from. And if you really want to conquer the fear of other people's opinions, you'll need to cultivate more self-awareness. Most of us go through life with a general sense of who we are, and in a lot of circumstances, that's enough. We get by. But if you want to be your best self while being less fearful of other people's opinions, you need to develop a stronger and much deeper sense of who you truly are. And there are many ways that you can do this, such as journaling, asking yourself deep questions, and getting clear on what your values are. So to wrap up this episode, the best way to get anything from this is to go take action. Go scare yourself. I dare you to step a little bit out of your comfort zone this week. Do something. Do anything that you would normally avoid due to how you think that other people would judge you. And once you do, reach out and tell me what you did. I would love to hear it. By taking deliberate and purposeful action to overcome the fear of what others think of you, you slowly regain your freedom and escape from the confines of the prison that you've created for yourself. Don't let the fear of other people's opinions stop you from living the life that you were born to live. As always, get out there and be your own hero. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.